Hello everyone, welcome to day 25th of June Lead Code Challenge, and today's question is redundant connections. In this question we are given a graph and we need to tell what are all those nodes which can be removed so that the resulting graph turns into a tree. So how do you distinguish between a tree and a graph? A graph is a tree with cycles. Lead code 684 redundant connections. And this problem is an extension to a very basic graph problem of detecting cycles in a graph. If you are able to solve that problem, you will understand this problem as well. And let's hypothetically assume we have a black box kind of a method available to us that tells us whether in the current state of the graph it is cyclic or in nature or not. Is cyclic. So I'm drawing a cycle here, and it accepts in the graph, which can be passed into a form of an adjacency matrix, and I'll pass in my adjacency matrix, which is a graph state, to it. And let's start the iteration. The first edge that we have is 1, 2, and let's define an adjacency matrix which is null right now. The first edge is 1, 2. We'll pass the starting source edge as 1, we'll pass in the target edge as 2, and we'll try to check whether in the current state of adjacency matrix, if this node is reachable from 1 to 2, that means if you will add this node into the graph, the cycle will be created. So, and that will result to your answer. If we are trying to search for a node that leads to a cycle creation in the graph. So let's iterate through the logic. We have 1, 2, and the adjacency matrix is null right now, and adding this node into the adjacency matrix will not lead to a cycle. So we'll add 1 and to the adjacency matrix, and its corresponding node will be 2, and from 2 we'll add a node till 1, because this is an undirected graph that is given to us. Let's move on to the next iteration. We have 1, 3. This time the source is 1 and the target is 3. We will check in the current state of adjacency matrix whether there is a path that already exists starting from 1 up till 3. It doesn't exist. So we'll add it into the adjacency matrix. At 1 we get 3 as well, so I'm adding another node, and at 3 I'll add 1, and this node gets added. Now let's move on to the next iteration. We have 2, 3, and we will check whether adding this node in the graph leads to the cycle or not. The node is starting from 2, ends up till 3. Using the black box method that we already have, since it leads to the cycle creation, we cannot add this node. So this becomes our answer, because the helper method returns true that it will lead to a cyclic condition if this is the current state of the graph and you add this node into this graph. Let's try and understand it by one more example. Let's create the adjacency matrix here, and let's assume we have a black box method that accepts in the source index, the source, the target, and the adjacency matrix, and it tells whether adding a node from the source up till the target in the current state of the graph leads to a cycle or not. So let's try. The first node that we have is 1, 2, and since the adjacency matrix is not initialized, it won't lead to a cycle. This will return false. So we'll add 1, 2 in our adjacency matrix. 1 points to 2 and 2 points to 1. Next we have 2, 3, and let's pass in the source as 2. Source becomes 2, target becomes 3, and this is the current state of the graph where only one node exists, this one. and adding this node will not lead to a cyclic condition. So we'll go ahead and add it into the graph. So from 1 we have another pointer to 3, and from 3 we have another pointer to 2. Let's move on to the next iteration. We have 3, 4. In this current state of graph, whether adding a node starting from 3 to 4 will lead to a cycle or not, it doesn't lead. This helper method will return false, and we are good to go with adding this node into the graph. From 3 we have 4, from 3 we have 4, and from 4 we have 3. Let's move on to the next iteration. This time we have a node from 1 till 4. Now the question comes, adding this node into the adjacency matrix, will this lead to a cyclic condition or not? It will definitely lead to a cycle. Therefore this becomes our answer and will return 1, 4 as the answer. We don't even need to iterate over 1, 5. I hope you understood this logic. Now the question only reduces to writing this method, this helper method, which accepts in 3 parameters: the node that you are adding, the source index of that, the target index of that, and the adjacency matrix that it accepts. The helper method for all these 3 parameters that returns whether a cycle will be created or not if we add this node into the graph. We'll talk about it in the coding section. So let's move on to the coding section. The first thing that I've done here is to define an adjacency matrix, a map where this is the starting node, and from this node, all the nodes that are part of the set of integers are reachable. And by default I initialize it to new hash set. That means right now from all the indexes that we have, none of the node is reachable. And let's iterate over all the edges that we have, and let's talk about the helper method that tells whether adding a node starting from this edge, ending at this edge, and accepting the current state of the graph, the adjacency matrix, will lead to a cycle or not. I've also added another parameter which signifies the visited, what all nodes have been visited in the past, just to identify the cyclic part in the graph. If this helper method returns true, that means adding this node will lead to a cycle, and we simply return this edge as an answer. Otherwise we go and update the adjacency matrix with this new edge. Now comes the question, how do you define this helper method that tells whether a path already exists in the graph starting from this source index up till this target index. For this it accepts 4 parameters: visited, so as to avoid looping conditions, infinite looping conditions, so that we can mark while moving in a path that we have already visited this node or not. The current state of the graph, the source index that we want to check it against, the target index where we want to reach. If my source turns out to be equal to target, I simply return true, because that makes it form a cycle. Otherwise I go and add my source index into my visited set, and I get all the nodes starting from the source, and I check whether the next nodes were visited in the past or not. If they were not visited, I again perform a DFS on the similar state, the visited, the map, and the source gets updated to next instead of source, and I pass in the same target. And if this method returns true, we return true. Otherwise we simply return false. This is the core logic of cycle detection. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for viewing it, and have a great day ahead.